to call to order the special meeting of the Board of Selectmen for February 21st at 5:30 p.m. and recording has started. So with that, let's all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Oops, wrong flag. Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, great. Thank you. All right. So obviously this is a meeting very focused on some specific issues, but I will start out with, I'd like item number 3, which is discuss and take action to amend the Town of Madison Board of Selectmen procurement policy regarding professional technical services as recommended by the first selectman.
Move.
Okay, we got a second? Bruce is seconding, I think. Okay. And so just to give a little background on this, basically the school building committee is going to need to be able to do some professional service stuff pretty quickly. And they don't have the authority to do that under their charge. Our procurement policy had limited anything that's professional technical services at 10,000, which is a very dated number, whereas our bid award is 50,000. So our attorneys in talking to them recommended we just make the update the policy, the procurement policy. Then the school building committee will make a recommendation to my office, and then I can let them move forward and approve any kind of small project award. And I know Bruce had reached out to me and just mentioned he thought there might be a little cleaner way to amend this.
So this is
in the packet.
Relatively a small edit, but the last sentence, professional service contracts in excess of $50,000 shall be awarded in a manner consistent with bid awards. So it reads a little circular to me, and I would simply suggest that we add in a manner consistent with bid awards as outlined above.
Okay. And that's just a minor modification, so I don't think I'm comfortable with that. So I would be comfortable with recommending that minor addition to the to language there. I don't know, does any board member have questions on this about, why we would need this or why we're making the change? I think it's just a good thing for the policy too, just to kind of bring it up to date. Okay. All right. With that, then, I guess all in favor of approving the amendment to the procurement policy with the minor update to it as recommended by me, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, great. All right, great. So that helps. That'll help a lot. Get some things moving forward. Item number 4. I'm going to read this and then I'll invite Colliers up to explain where this is all exciting stuff because we went through the bidding process. We heard from the building committee. And now we're at a point where we're actually going to be awarding some contracts. So item number 4 is discuss and take action to accept the early release packages with recommendations to award from Gilbane Building Company for phase 2 general construction from the new elementary school building committee, and to authorize Gilbane Building Company to enter into contracts with the trade subcontractors identified therein and proceed with construction for those scope items, and to authorize the first selectman to sign all necessary associated contracts and documents associated with this award. A, bid package 3A concrete to Carvalho and McDowell in the amount of $1,877,000. B, bid package 5A structural steel to United Steel in the amount of $2,497,000. C, bid package 22A plumbing to Crest Mechanical in the amount of $2,347,000. D, bid package 23B HVAC and controls to Action Air in the amount of $4,863,000. E, bid package 26B electrical and security to Wayne Griffin in the amount of $3,159,000. F, bid package 31B site work to Mizzy Construction in the amount of $8,276,000. G, general conditions, general requirements to mobilize in an amount not to exceed $100,000 so Gilbane Construction tracked on a time and materials basis. H, performance and payment bonds for the early release work at 0.06% in the amount of $138,714 to Gilbane Construction. CIP insurance for the early release work at 2.71% in the amount of $626,524 to Gilbane Construction, and J, fee for the early release work at 1.7% in the amount of $406,032. Can I get a
It's a
second?
mouthful. Wow. Second.
Okay, great. So, yes, it is a mouthful, and this is just one piece of more that will be coming. But I would, I know, Graham Curtis is also on the line, right? As well as, Peter and Bill McMinn, if you, Jeannie, you want to bring them up to the panel. And then
Hey,
I thought,
Bill.
Adam, if you could
Still
just,
on? I don't see
pardon?
Bill. I didn't see
Or
Bill.
maybe just Peter. But I thought, Adam, if you want to explain kind of what we're doing here and why this had to be a special meeting.
Yes.
To just update the board on all that.
Perfect. Thank you so much again to the board members, and appreciate the expedited special meeting to help keep this along. So as Peggy mentioned, it's an exciting point in the project where effectively we're at the point of authorizing Gilbane to proceed with construction. In terms of what's the docket for this evening, this comprises a sizable portion in terms of dollar value of the overall construction contract and costs that will ultimately be wrapped up in a singular guaranteed maximum price amendment to Gilbane's contract. So what does that all mean, and what is the schedule, and why are we here tonight? Gilbane is got a series of packages. There's 20 to 30 packages. I don't remember off the top of my head exactly what the number is, what the final count was, but there's a collective amount of packages that will comprise the overall scope of the project, everything from concrete to your painters to everything in between. That will get wrapped up under a singular contract that will be forthcoming in the March timeframe. I think we'll have a final number at the beginning of March, and then sign on the dotted line later in the month. However, similar to, if you recall back a couple months ago, we did an early procurement package for about $1.5 million, if I recall, to release some of the long lead items for electrical and whatnot. This is it's a similar function for actual whole trade packages. And if you notice, these are a lot of work that happens at the beginning of the construction process. So concrete, steel, most significantly for starting work would be the site contractor. But these are some of the key packages that Gilbane has identified as being important to release at this point because they've been vetted. They're all these are the lowest responsive bidders. We've gone through scope review meetings with them, Colliers, the design team, and Gilbane, and vetted their bids and their scopes, and they align with the necessary costs for the project, and they're capable of doing the work. So because they're, so to speak, sort of clean, ready to go, and they would allow the project to proceed with construction, there's a desire to break them out ahead of the vetting of the rest of the 15 or 20 so packages, so that Gilbane's able to proceed with construction and putting up fencing, putting up trailers, starting to move dirt, etc. Obviously, there is, it's a early from the rest of the package, and although there is the notion that the owner could wait for the entire package to be compiled and signed for all packages at once, as I mentioned, that wouldn't occur until later in March. And there's this desire to get things moving now to assist with the schedule, as opposed to just waiting for weeks when they could be actually producing work. The notion behind breaking out these packages, obviously there is a contractual conceptual risk in the sense that you don't have that full final number written in stone yet as part of a GMP, guaranteed maximum price proposal. However, we've received all the bids for the trades. We've compared that against the budget. And as is indicated in the draft letter that's put before the board for approval tonight, the estimated guaranteed maximum price is trending to be approximately $4.5 million below the current budget for the school project. Now, if you recall, the school budget took some money from contingency, moved monies over from other referendum pots. However, the bottom line is as we're moving forward, there's effectively there's no notion from the project team that the guaranteed maximum price would exceed budget, and therefore that cost risk is more or less eliminated, and therefore it's a reasonable action to go ahead and release these trade packages while we iron out the last few dollars here and there and get the exclusions and reviews of those other trade packages ironed out through Gilbane. So effectively, you're buying time for the project for something that could be contracted for earlier.
I like
Yeah,
the
I
sound of $4 and $4.5 million under budget. I heard that.
Graham accuses me of bearing the lead a lot, but I like to be respectful of the overall
I saw
process.
Graham waving banners. I thought that was.
Well, we never really know how under budget we are until we actually proceed, award the bids. And then remember, we still had taken money out of contingency on this project. So there's still going to be possibly some surprises or issues that could pop up. So we really never will really know what that number is until we move through the construction process, right?
With this team, Peggy, not with this team. Come on. They're under budget. They're staying that way.
Unfortunately, we're getting past the point of the team's ability to have, X-ray vision into the dirt and predict what the global market supplies will be like. But to that point, all those discussions about, how much money, what the money is allocated for, whether it be alternates, whether it be replenishing contingency, whatever's left, those discussions would come in alignment with that guaranteed maximum price proposal in coming up in a couple of weeks here. So once we get the scope of what's left, then those discussions and decisions and the timeline for decisions can be laid out. But this is a cleaner package that can be put forth, and so long as the town is comfortable in moving forward with contracting for this $24 million, I believe the bottom line was, that it allows Gilbane to start moving and the project to start in earnest in the field.
Adam, could you elaborate on item J, what that fee is?
Yes, so that is the 1.7% is the CM fee. That is effectively Gilbane's fee for the project, i.e. their profit. That was a negotiated rate that was part of the discussions when Gilbane was first brought on board. So there was a number of percentages and allowances that would be tied to the overall value of the trade bids. So that 1.7% is what was negotiated with Gilbane for their services. So that value ties into what we're contracting for. We'll have the remainder of it coming in when we contract for the rest of the trades.
They want to get paid for their work? What?
I asked Nick and he said, yeah, it was kind of a
Really?
So.
How dare they?
So I think the other important thing that you mentioned is that, there'll be further conversations. The school building committee will be coming back with thoughts on, if the pricing and everything comes in where we think it will come in under budget, then there's going to have to be some decisions made about, what goes to bid alternates versus, other things that have been discussed, including, some of the money in the budget right now had come from the Polson project. So the board will be consulted on all that. And, Graham will be working the school building committee, because there were some ad alternates that were kind of critical things that I think they're going to want to fund, because they really did have to kind of skinny things down a lot to make sure that everything was fully budgeted for when they went out to bid. So those conversations will continue, and we still have an opportunity for this board to weigh in on that before those final, decisions are made.
Yeah, when you graciously moved the $3+ million over, we agreed to before we took any alternatives, we'd come back to the Board of Selectmen and make sure you were, in agreement with that. So we will be coming back before we make any final decisions.
So any other questions? Obviously it's, it's exciting to see this, and I think the idea is groundbreaking. We would do something more ceremonial in April, I think we're talking, right? Or,
right, we're ironing out a date, and we'll obviously be in coordination with Peggy, your office, as well as Superintendent and Board of Education, and gather which dignitaries need invitations and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Golden shovel.
We've got those.
Nice, nice. Just, can I ask just, I guess, one quick follow-up question? Graham, was this unanimous with the building committee? All the,
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
yeah, that's what I figured. Okay, good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this was as good as it could have happened, as we
Sounds like
pointed
it.
out.
Yeah. You're working your magic, my friend. Good job.
Well,
Good.
there was a lot of luck and a great team of partners on this one. So, and a
Man,
great.
yes. Exciting.
Yeah, and I think everybody's excited to see things happen now, so this releases people to start getting work done and seeing the project really move forward now. And it's gonna be quick, because we're talking, less than, a little more than a year, right? Just a few months more than a year, and the intention is the building would be open, so we're really excited to get to that point. All right, well, if there's no additional questions, then I guess all in favor of approving agenda item number 4 as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion passes unanimously. So thank you for all your hard work. I know there's gonna be more of this coming, so this will probably be March, I think, further discussions, right, with approvals, and then more about, some of the other decisions that need to be made, but this is the first step.
Bar. You've set the bar at this point, Graham. So, just remember that.
Great. Okay, well, thank you very much, guys. I appreciate that. And then I think really the last item is I just put citizens' comments on here. Just, I don't know if we have any people on from outside. It does not look like we do. And I see no hands raised, just calling once for any public comment. Please raise your hand. Seeing no hands raised, I guess I would like to adjourn the meeting, hearing no objections. So meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Everybody.
Thanks so much,
All right,
everyone.
Great
thank you.
job. Thank you.